Hey everyone, real quick before we get into the video, this game does contain a lot of flashing lights of various colors, so if you are photosensitive or if you feel this may potentially cause you to have an epileptic seizure, please do not watch the video, please do not play the game. It's a lot of fun, it's a great game, but probably not the right fit for you. Okay? Just wanted to get that out of the way. So again, viewer discretion is advised. Please look out for yourself. Alright, hello ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome to Nova Drift, a kind of indie bullet hell roguelite version of Asteroids. Now, this game was developed by Chimeric and published by Pixel Jam Games, so thank you to Pixel Jam and to Press Engine for giving me a review code. As per usual, I just like to get the review code and give you kind of my first impressions. I did play about an hour of the game, though Steam says I played it for 5 hours. I've had an issue where it kind of doesn't stop the game. Anyway, in that hour, I kind of really experienced what the game is like and what it has to offer. Now, part of the reason I was given a code for this game is that it's coming out with a new, I guess, game mode of daily challenges on June 5th, I believe. So this game was originally released in August of 2024 and has been kind of steadily being updated since that point. I had a lot of fun with it. As I said, it is a bullet hell roguelite version of the old arcade game Asteroids, meaning you'll have enemies coming at you from all sides, firing massive projectiles at you that you'll either have to tank or dodge, and you can kind of move about the screen as you wish. If you move, say, off the left side of the screen, you will reappear on the right side of the screen. This game honestly was a lot of fun and is, in my mind, the epitome of a podcast game. You know, you can listen to the sick music, which they're actually putting on vinyl. I will leave a link for their Kickstarter for that down in the description below. And you kind of just, listen to the music, or even just mute the game, put on a podcast, put on a YouTube video, and just kind of mindlessly space out, pun intended. Now, this game, as I mentioned, is a roguelite, meaning that you unlock things kind of in between each run with a level of meta progression and experience gain. Now, this game, in my opinion, has a lot to offer. It has, I think, 65 or more unlocks as you level up, which will not necessarily drastically change the way you play, but will give you enhanced versions of the unlockables you can get throughout each playthrough. Now, I've, again, played for about an hour-ish. I got to levels 3 or 4, I can't quite remember. So out of at least 65, this game has a good bit to offer on top of, again, those daily challenges that will be coming out in June. This is really a pick up and play and then put it down for a while kind of game. And I think that's great. Now, to get into it, the base game has a bunch of different upgrades that you can use throughout each run, very roguelite style. I found myself drifting more towards the drones just because they were kind of autonomous. They were good meat shields, or I guess just shields. They were good attackers, and I did have a lot of fun with the game. I found it a little bit visually cluttered, but I think you could argue that about most roguelites, or rather most bullet hells. And I don't play a whole lot of them, so I'm a little out of my depth in that regard. I do feel like the game, is forgiving enough. I can tank a lot of hits before going down. There are different ship styles that, some are tankier but slower moving, some are weaker but faster, so you can really find the one that suits you and the playstyle that's going to suit you the best. I really enjoyed it overall. I do kind of think, okay, this is not necessarily, the game that you play forever, but it's the game you play for an hour, put it down for a week, pick it up for an hour. Like, this is very much a game that I think, say, John, for example, would love on Steam Deck. Just sitting in bed, listen to something for half an hour before bed, and just, kind of jamming out to it. Has a great experience. As for a sit down at a computer and kind of engage with it experience, it maybe doesn't fit that kind of playstyle very well, but that's not the game's fault. The game is what it wants to be, which is a version of Asteroids, which I think is great, and it just doesn't necessarily mesh well with me. There are some slight criticisms I have for the game, and again, outside of the visual clutter, which I think is just an inherently bullet hell related issue, is the movement. It felt kind of floaty, and I get it, we're in space, I'm not expecting like the tightest turn or stopping on a dime kind of movement, but it felt like I was moving and then just drifting a little bit, and it did take a while to get used to. Once I was there, I was good. It was very noticeable at first. I did also find myself getting confused between the triggers to shoot and to move, because you have to constantly have the thrusters going if you want to move, and I would just sometimes shoot when I wanted to move or move when I wanted to shoot. It became a little confusing at first, but once I got the hang of it, I think I was good. So again, if this is your kind of game, absolutely go for it. If not, hey, maybe it's something you pick up on sale and then you play it when you don't have anything else to do, right? That being said, the game does retail for $22.99 Canadian, so I'm assuming about $20 US, and I could easily see you getting that time out of the game, again, with the current content, with the content that'll be coming out for it. Honestly, this was just a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I played it because it helps me understand what I do and maybe don't like about games. You know, what I want out of a game versus what I maybe don't want out of a game, and kind of where I find that enjoyment. So, I will leave a link for Nova Drift down in the description down below. I do hope you check it out. If you have played it, or even just looking at the footage, you know, tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Does this kind of game appeal to you? I have a couple more games that were published by Pixel Jam. They've actually been emailing me a lot recently through Press Engine that I'm hoping to cover, so thank you again very much specifically to Pixel Jam for letting me cover some of these. And let me know in the description down below if there's any kind of indie games or smaller games you want me to check out. I'm happy to look at them. With all that being said, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, so much for being here, so much for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to cover, again, more of these little indie games in kind of these smaller, shorter videos, because it gets the word out there, it gets them out there, and I get to experience something new, and I really appreciate that. So with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.